Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be teaching you how to make this 35-row brim using the Sentro knitting machine. If you guys want to see, keep on watching. We're going to start our project by adding 10 rows of scrap yarn. Here you'll see I used red so that it is significantly distinguishable from my project yarn. Then I'm going to be using 35 rows of my project yarn in this color. I can't remember what it is, but I'll put it on the screen here. You'll do 35 rows of this all the way around, and then I'm going to show you how to begin doing the rim. Right, so now that we have our 35 rows, the first thing you'll do is get yourself a crochet needle. Using the crochet needle, you'll identify the first stitch, and then you'll grab that stitch with your crochet needle and hook it on your Sentro needle. You'll do this for every loop that you can identify and keep going around the Sentro. This will help you to create the brimming effect by knitting your brim together. Thereby, you won't have to use the scrap yarn anymore. So you'll grab the hook there, or the loop rather, with your crochet hook. Then you'll loop it over your Sentro needle for each needle. And you'll just keep doing that until you get all the way around the machine to the end of your project. As you see here, I'm also pulling on my project just a little bit, not forcefully, not hard, just a little bit, so that I can identify where each loop is. Identifying the loops won't be hard once you use a scrap yarn that's a significantly different color from your project yarn. Additionally, when you put your loop over, you must make sure that your feeding yarn is also going underneath your Sentro needles as you go around. I will check every now and then just to make sure it is continuously going under, but you want to make sure you're looking at it if you're a beginner so that it does feed under each of those needles with your loops as well. So your needle will be eating, for lack of a better term, two pieces of yarn, the one in the feeder and the one that you're looping over it, so that it could close out the brim and create our waist for our project here. Okay, so here I'm giving you guys a little bit of a close-up of what you will be doing. We're grabbing each of our loops and then we're looping them right over the needle as we go. And then as you can see, our feeding yarn is going underneath as well as the loops that we create. Again, if you can't find your loops, just yank on your yarn just a little bit so that you can identify them. Because after a while, even if you use a significantly distinguishable scrap yarn, you won't be able to find it, and then you might have dropped stitches. So make sure you pull on your project yarn just a little bit so that you're able to identify your loops that are going to be going onto each needle of your Sentro. All right, we are coming to the end of our brimming here. I will say, as you begin to crank your centro to start closing off your brim, it will become a little bit hard. Not significantly that you can't do it, but make sure you take your time. It will have a little bit of tension in it when you're going around, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So here, as we crank back, you'll see my centro just sticking a little bit where I need to start holding on to it. This is because the centro is eating 2 pieces of yarn as opposed to the usual 1 piece for the go around. You want to add additional tension to your yarn as well while you go around, because it will create a loose strand of yarn that will make your project look a little bit wonky. So make sure you add just a little bit more tension with your hand or with your centro tensioner that comes on the machine. We're gonna be going around our centro a couple more times so that we know that the project has sealed and we have created our brim there. Then I'm gonna show you how to remove your scrap yarn from the project so you can keep going. All right, so here I'm going to be removing the scrap yarn. This is super easy, so I'm gonna zoom in to show you. All you have to do is use your crochet needle and just start tugging on the yarn closest to your project. You'll see the loops itself, and you just keep pulling them, and you'll be able to seamlessly remove that scrap yarn from your project that's actively on the centro. It's super easy. If you need to pull on your project just a little bit, you can, and you'll be able to identify where exactly the scrap yarn and your project yarn is so that you could use your crochet needle to just pull the yarn out. I'm going to cut mine a little bit because I did see a knot in it, and the knot will cause your project to just get a little bit loose, so I had to cut mine, and then you'll see it start coming out more seamlessly here as we go around. Now that we have our scrap yarn off of our project, we can continue to crank our centro around to make our project a lot longer. Here I am making a beautiful skirt. If you want to see this skirt finalized, watch my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.